Hello, 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 and welcome, my Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Let's do your timeless path of true love read. I am your reader, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Jarring the Circle Productions, the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hi. Before we dive in, I made a couple of videos, one a preface to these timeless true love reads, explaining what the path of true love is, what true love is to the extent that anyone can, just in case you are new to the channel and new to these readings. It's about 13 minutes, and it was a lot of fun to make, so I do hope you check it out, as well as a video I did on not just how to book a reading with me, but what a reading with me is like. Beginning to end, and even how I ask my clients to check in with me 48 hours or so after the reading to let me know how they're doing, because the words and the cards just float on the energy, and it's really about what the energy is doing with them as they integrate. So yeah, go check those out if you feel so drawn, because I love reading clients one-to-one on Zoom, on Facebook video call, and I've been doing a little bit more face-to-face here, at least on Long Island. It's been kind of cool to meet with clients again. Same thing for spiritual counseling, but I'll make a video about that later. It's different, but it's the same. So here's the tea. The Timeless True Love Reads. We are doing a classic Celtic Cross spread using 2 decks. That'll be 20 cards there. Daughters of the Moon going down first. Then the Mythic Tarot on top of that. We're getting 2 Caroline Myss Archetype decks to start us, Archetype deck cards, I should say, to start us off. One for you and one for somebody crossing your path. Maybe it's romantic, maybe it's not. Only you can know that. It is a general read, you know all of that. That's why checking your other signs. One path of true love read could be about a family member, another could be about a lover. You never can tell until you watch them, right? And then we'll get you a Whisper of Love Oracle and a Matt Kahn Healing Mantra card, so that you will have some guidance and grace from your own higher selves, the higher selves of all involved, and a healing mantra to help you heal on the path of true love. That being said, all the decks that I read are always at the bottom of the description box, and I put them in the bottom of the description box all the way at the bottom, so that you'll see there's a lot of other cool links on there. Links to my Vimeo on demand stuff, particularly the Path of True Love workshops that I did many years ago, and turning that into a book eventually. So I guess that's about it. Except to say, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can from my pantheons of the divine, and in service for the well-being of all. Shall we? Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, I was just waiting to inhale. Here we go. My collective, beloved collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of true love, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, I need 2 Caroline Myss Archetype cards here. One to represent the Scorpio on this side, and whoever is crossing their path on this side, the 8th chakra dynamic. What is the soul power? They are developing, transforming from lead to gold, shadow to light, pain to peace, toxic to healthy on the path of true love. Timeless whenever they are watching this. One for the Scorpio, please. That one came out pretty easy. And one for whoever is crossing their path. Remember, not only can this be any form of relationship, might also flip-flop, particularly if there is a survival archetype, survival family archetype, which has been, and there's a survival family archetype. I had a feeling when this one was going to show up. Just want to see. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 out of now 8 have had survival family archetypes, and I will explain it. And you're, I think, pretty brave for showing up, you guys. The Scorpios on this side, it may flip-flop, you know, cross-watchers and all that. Certainly the Saboteur archetype, which the positive side of it, I call the empowerer, like someone who empowers themselves and others, right? So the Saboteur archetype, it's one of the 4 survival family archetypes. I feel like I've said this every single time because I kind of have to. Everybody has these 4. The child, the victim victor, the saboteur empower, and the prostitute archetype. The prostitute has very little to do with being a hooker, right? But that's not on the table here. But that's why when one of these pops up, one of those 4 archetypes, it might be a little tricky to figure out who is who because everybody has these 4. So let me read you about the Saboteur. The shadow attribute induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. And we all deal with that. It's how we learn how to survive in this world in the shadow way, right? The stuff we don't want to look at, we don't want to admit, or if we know about it, we don't want anybody to know, particularly how we sabotage ourselves, right? Self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. And Carolyn May said it best. On the level of the ego, nobody wants to see anybody succeed before they do, particularly in spiritual awakening and empowerment, which you think wouldn't be the case, but the spiritual ego is a thing. Don't forget that. The light attribute, what you're shooting for here in the light, the healthy side of this, highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Like if I actually spoke what I really felt about this, I know things would blow up, but it would be empowering, right? It would be so important, like to confess, to speak out, to, well, people coming out of the closet, you know, no matter what that closet is. For some people, depending on where they live, it must be terrifying to come out of certain closets, particularly the witch closet, which I came out of that broom closet so young. Yeah, as well as the gray closet. And you are crossed here with the engineer archetype. Now, the engineer might sound a little clunky, a little pedestrian, a little mundane, but it's not. This is a creative family archetype, and it's saying all about nuts and bolts. The shadow attribute, reliance on reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. And other people say, well, that's what we do. Right, that's the problem. Here's the solution. Doesn't matter who doesn't like it. Doesn't matter if anybody gets hurt. Right? So that kind of vibe, right? Very mechanistic, very engineered. But the light attribute is so beautiful on this one. Ability to give creative energy a practical expression. A practical expression, right? So, not just about art for the sake of art, but taking creativity in any way, shape, or form and giving it a way of expressing itself in a practical way, like technology, right? Someone sees a problem, go, here's a solution that we could do, a workaround, or maybe we could build this or that. But the other one I love on here, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas, right? So that need not involve a single literal tool, right? Like a hammer or a wrench or a slide rule. Is that still a thing? I don't know. I'm a witch. Please don't make me do math. So a saboteur and an engineer walk into a bar. One blows it up, the other puts it back together. It's terrible. All right, let's see. We're going to do our Celtic Cross here. We're going to do 10 cards down. Face down, we'll turn them over one at a time once they're all done. Daughters of the Moon will then do the crown, the third eye, the throat, and the heart, because you got your 8th chakra. So we're checking the energy all the way down. The Mythic Tarot will get you the last 3, solar plexus, sacrum, and root. All right? Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my goddesses of water and the sign of Scorpio, please, 10 cards face down. We'll pull them one at a time, but we'll keep them face down for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, timeless path of true love read. They represent here as the Saboteur, though, as we said, that could bounce back and forth. What's going on for them? Heart, throat, third eye, crown. Person crossing their path, dealing with the engineer archetype in some way, shape, or form. What's going on at the core of this? Subconscious influences. They may not be aware of this unless they're very deep and intuitive and self-aware, which people on my channel do tend to be, from what I understand. What's going on? What happened before them? The past relating to the present on the path of true love. What's behind them on the path? Maybe what they left behind on the path. What is crowning, sort of orbiting in the energy field, wanting to come down, hasn't quite manifested yet, because free will is always involved, even if it does manifest, what we do with it. Let's look at what is before them on the path, right? Maybe they can't see down the around the bend too much. on the path of true love going on here. Scorpio's being all mysterious and deeply intuitive. Let's see what that is. We're going to move you guys over. There we go. That's the cross. Let's look at the staff, please. 7th position, the lesson. What's the lesson the divine is teaching them here? What's their vibe feel like? Horizontal plane, as if we were to walk up to the Scorpio or whoever's watching and going, ooh, I can feel that on you. Heart, third eye crown. What's going on there for them? That's too many. Okay. One more time, please. What's from the outside looking in? How does the world feel their vibe going on? Their hopes and fears, their destiny hewn from fate, right? What do we hope for and fear the most? We hope the most that our destiny, our highest destinies will manifest. We're absolutely terrified about what we have to do about it, particularly like what we might have to let go of. It is a hero's journey, a healing journey. What's going on in their destiny position here? Thank you. And most probable outcome, the timeline of this lifetime for the Scorpio collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading on the path of true love. Please just leave that card in my hand. Nope, keep slipping through for my Scorpio. Sometimes if I visualize the sign, right, a little M with a barbed tail on the end there. What's their outcome on the path of true love? Thank you very much. Okay. Remember, don't beat yourself up for the sabotage card, the saboteur card. That would be sabotorial. Everybody has it. And you are crossed with, we're off to quite the bang here, the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups, certainly there's an emotional upset here. It says sorrow on the card, but that need not be so. That can be meh, right? Meh, right? Because, you know, even in traditional tarot, 3 cups, hand of the divine, giving them the 4th, they're like, meh, not so interested. Could be boredom. Well, tuning to the vibe of this could be out and out disappointment at its lowest. Like, disappointment is very close to heartbreak, but it's a little bit different, right? Disappointment is womp womp, heartbreak is you're in tears. Not sort of getting the depth of that, but it might feel like there was an opportunity that was lost here, right? Like 3 cups spilled, but there is still hope to be had here. And that's why even if it's a meh, it's a temporary. Minor arcanas are always temporary, right? They're not years and years and years like a major arcana card can be. This engineer represents heart, third eye crown, like what their vibe feels like. This feels actually really good. The Gemini card, Hina, the Maiden of Blades, which would be the Knight of Swords. Communicative, self-expressive, a talker. Very throat chakra oriented here, since those are the chakras we're reading for here. So it does feel like there is at least an urge to communicate here, maybe to provide a solution. But is it one that was emotionally upsetting, emotionally disappointing, or meh? Like, that's not really it. And when a Scorpio feels that meh, it's like close, no cigar. That's often an intuitive thing with water signs, right? If we really respect that and pay attention, well, no, something's not quite right. Close, but no cigar. In other words, my heart's not opening, right? There's something here. It's a little on the meh to disappointed side. Not necessarily getting full-on heartbreak, though. What's at the core here? This is my indecision card. 2 of Flames, 2 of Wands, Crossroads, Makueha, volcano goddess, fire in her hands. Well, do I want to put my fire here, or do I want to put my fire here? Element of fire, will, desire, choices, right? What you yearned for, what you burned for. There might be being pulled in 2 different directions here in terms of what is wanted, right? All right, they're giving me this energy. You find yourself, I don't know, $10,000. You wake up in your account one morning, tax-free, $10,000, and you're like, well, I have to pay the bills, but I also, and you don't know where to put that creative energy. And definitely this is creative. Not so sure this is necessarily a romantic sexual thing yet, but let's keep going. What's in the past here? All right, 6 of Blades. You know, the card is called manipulation, but manipulation in and of itself is a neutral word. It depends on the intention behind the manipulation. When it's heart, throat, third eye, crown, as these cards represent in at least this reading, these readings that I'm doing, this can be not just about thinking things over, but sort of spin it in your mind. A little bit more than analysis. It's sort of like bopping around it and looking at things from different perspectives. This can be a card of counseling. This can be a card of therapy. This can be a card, certainly, of the balance of the element of air. Some clarity, but one that took some mental work there, right? If you look at the Six of Swords, the gondola, right, going from choppy water to smooth. So it's interesting that maybe what went on before this might have been a bit more tumultuous emotionally, and has gotten the Scorpio here looking at empowerment issues here, leaving them a little meh to disappointed. It's crowning. Well, now I know this looks an awful lot like the Two of Swords in the traditional tarot, because she's blindfolded with two swords, but there are two more underneath her, which is why Fiona Morgan, when she made this deck, calls it deception. Now, Four of Swords, Four of Blades here, is definitely a card of shutting down these and going within. There may be a deception here in play that might be what this meh is about, even if it has not been revealed. Now, I will say the Saboteur might be the one who might deceive themselves in order to get along, right? Particularly if something was communicated here that might not have been truthful. So there might be a deception on both sides here that is yet to be seen. And that's what I mean. It's like this is sort of orbiting. It's either about to happen or is already in play, which is more what I'm getting here. There's something here that's not completely clear. And someone's turning a blind eye, but I feel like heart, throat, third eye, crown, there's an illusion in place here, deception, but saboteur, we all deceive ourselves. That's why never beat yourself up for the path of true love, or any path that you're on where you discover how you sabotage yourself. The Saboteur archetype doesn't make you sabotage yourself and other people. It teaches you how you sabotage and why you sabotage other people. It's a very different dynamic, really. If everyone could read Sacred Constructs by Carolyn Mace, just that first part on the 4 survival archetypes would be such a life changer for so many. Hey, Melky! Hi, buddy! I got kitty cats coming up and saying hi to me. You want to come up and sit? Here, come up and sit while Mama's working. They call me Mama because cats don't have the jaw structure to say Dada. Mama? Yeah, I'm good with it. You bonking my ankle, little ankle bonker. Well, guess what? Here we go. What's before you on the path? The Sybil. Hold your water, Sybil. The Ace of Blades. The Ace of Swords. A new truth comes in. Now, it's heart, throat, third eye, crown. We'll see what it looks like in the outside world when we get the next 10 cards down. This is my youngest son, Melchior. You cannot see him because he has a black cat on a black background. But he's my baby Taurus. I love you, sweetheart. They're so good. They've kept me alive for years, but particularly this past year and a half. So the Sybil is the Oracle of Delphi. Right? She wasn't just a reader. Paleolithic, what? Stone? YouTube? Whatever. No, like warlords, kings. Sounds like the intro to Xena, right? Literally from around the world would come to Delphi in Greece to sit with this priestess who sat on a tripod huffing essentially ethylene gas out of a crack in the wall. Someone else would write down what she said and a third one would interpret it. They'd do really well with a YouTube channel if they had that kind of staff, right? One person in front of the camera, one doing the explanation and the other doing the tech. Oh, I could do with that. Okay, with this truth coming in, and I do feel like this is going to be something revealed within. We'll see if it's revealed without. But the lesson the gods would have you learn has to do with the Strength card. Our first major arcana card here, and to get this in the lesson position without anything in the cross so far, right? We're still going to do the external cards. This is saying that great courage is needed here. You're being taught a lesson of courage, of honesty, of honor, right? It is very hard to speak truth to power. I get it. So whatever the situation is, whoever you are dealing with, you gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser, you gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger, you gotta stay cool, you gotta be cool, you gotta stay calm, you gotta stay together. But all I know is true love will conquer all. So courage, right? The French word for the heart, courage, mon amour, right? You are being taught that, and there's no pill, there's no courage workshop. It is about following your heart and speaking your truth with integrity, and it is not easy. So I'm wondering if you're the one who delivers this truth, right? All these cards represent you. Even this Gemini card is the experience you're getting, kind of heart, throat, third eye crown from this person. But with Gemini energy, and I'm not saying this person is a Gemini, when it's these round cards on the internal that may refer to planetary placements, but not usually, that there's something mercurial here, like they're saying one thing one day and something else the next, and either contradicting themselves or, maybe there's just some out and out lies and deceptions. That's why I only speak the truth to the best of my ability, not saying that I always know exactly what ultimate truth is. I wouldn't go that far. That's hubris. That's what makes you a cult leader. No thanks. No thanks. Hard pass. But it's easier to remember the truth, particularly as you get older. I'm 52. Yes, I know I don't look at thanks. I'll be 53 September 6th. If anybody wants to send me prezzies. From the outside looking in, you're vibing the Lover's card here. Now that does not automatically make this romantic sexual. The Lover's card is about a life-changing decision. But the vibe I'm getting here is about you loving yourself. And I know that's very cliche, but there's something here about really going within, right? And saying with this card of the Four of Cups, this dissatisfaction to sorrow, maybe heartbreak, that particularly if this is your lesson, you're making deep decisions about who you want to be, right? What it is that you really want, what is your heart's desire, and making major life decisions. The difference between a choice and a decision is this. A choice has consequence. All choices do, even the ones we don't think that they do. They do. Carolyn May says we breathe out choice, we breathe in consequence, right? It's that fast. But a decision is life-changing. Like the word incision. You can't uncut something. Let's leave that there. My mind went there. It came right back. Would you like 3 major arcana cards in the row? The Destiny position here, your hopes and fears, is the Coyote. The Trickster. There's shenanigans going on. I don't know whose side it's on, but the truth is coming out. And I can tell you why the truth has not come out. Because there is a major life decision here. There may be some self-sabotage going on here, both sides, not wanting to speak the truth. If this is a romantic situation, it is very possible that there was mental manipulation in the past, and I don't often read this manipulation card that way. But certainly if we're looking at deceptions and delusions here, right, in the crown coming to light, one would think, then it might be this thing of the expiration date for this relationship is come and gone, right? And now you just kind of got like rotted meat in the fridge, which ain't great, Martha. So shadow work indicated here. Definitely there is a trick being played here somewhere. Major Arcana card. Half of the Devil card. The other half is Oppression. We'll see if that comes out, your last card. But certainly there's some hoodwinking that is going on here. And, you know, the Divine plays those tricks on us all the time. I was watching these readings, as one does as a reader on YouTube, I'm sure, saying, oh, somebody from the blue is going to call out of nowhere and you won't expect it. It'll be really lovely. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I think it's one person. Yesterday, I got one from a guy that I call Clark Kent. I nickname all my men. Right? It was delightful. And it was really a trick. I never thought I would hear from him again, not for bad reasons. We parted as friends. We stayed in touch here and there. But out of the blue yesterday, and I think we're going to hang out and talk next week. Well, isn't that funny? This person has no Scorpio placement, the Mr. Kent that I'm talking about, because you're ending here with the play card. Six of Flames, Six of Wands, Bastet. Now the key word is play here, and I would say it was victory, except in this deck, the Seven of Flames is called victory. So I'm going to say you started here with the Six of Blades on the inner. You're ending here on the Six of Wands, that you're ready to play the game. Right? You're like, oh, are you going to play with me? Well, let's play the truth game. And there's probably victory that comes as a result of that. Seeing this differently from a place where you might very well be able to forgive this and make a much clearer decision, like particularly self-sabotage through self-deception. It's so common. I mean, I'm not getting into the political aspect of it, but if you're watching the news, regardless of what side you're on, you can see self-deception, right? That's just how it is. Part of the human survival process, but to learn how you sabotage yourself, because we all do it, as I said, then this really lightens up in the end, at least on the inner. Liking that a lot, and if you want to take that as the victory card, traditional Six of Wands, I wouldn't doubt you for that, and there's a nice piece of that in there. Let's see what this looks like on the outer. The Mythic Tarot will give us the root, sacrum, solar plexus dynamic, completing the chakra, I guess, incarnation from 8th chakra, high archetypal inspiration down into physical manifestation. What does this look like from the outside looking in at you, or from your inside looking out at the physical? And can be both. Can be a mix-up of both. Please breathe. As I call upon my gods of water in the sign of Scorpio, Hades and Persephone, please. Sorry, Hades and Poseidon, please. I get my P gods. That doesn't sound right. Confused, please, with all love and respect, my beloved brothers of the original Olympians. What's going on here in this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign path of true love read? The Scorpio. Now what I'm saying is the Scorpio on this side is presenting as the Saboteur in the 8th chakra. I'll take that one. With the Four of Cups on the inner. They've got the Three of Cups on the outer, which means they're playing along. On the inside, it's Four of Cups. On the outside, it's Three of Cups. That's a deception. Sorry, there it is, right? So you got sorrow, womp womp on the inner, but Three of Cups, let's party on the outer. I mean, that could be literally partying. That could be self-medicating. And, you know, Scorpios, you're known for it. You're known for it. No tea, no shade, no pink lemonade, just saying. Dated plenty of you. I have an older brother who's one. You never know what's going on inside a Scorpio, though, right? So they may be fronting. You may be fronting a little bit here. Or at least with that Three of Cups, just trying to get along. Let's just try and get along. Let's just be a nice little happy family, if that's the case there. With the Engineer there, crossing their path with the Gemini card. This feels like somebody who's talkative, who's saying stuff. I just wonder if they're saying shit. I wonder if they're talking shit. What's going on here from the outside looking in for this person crossing their path? Five of Wands, argumentative energy. This feels like a couple. This feels like a couple that the Engineer here is really bringing some conflict to the Scorpio's party here. Like every time they want to do, no, right? Shoot it down, which is also very sabotorial, right? And maybe some of the solutions that they're coming up with here are creating more problems. But definitely there's an argumentative energy there. That is Jason of the Argonauts fighting the dragon to get the golden fleece, but they don't actually kill the dragon right away. They put it to sleep thanks to Medea. Yeah, read the myth. Very, very interesting. So it's an interesting vibe in this read. With that Two of Flames, though, I do get that crossroads and it feels like both of them would be like, I don't know if this is what I want anymore. I don't know if this is working anymore. What's going on here with that Two of Flames? Please, this is not going to be everybody's read. I get the feeling. Yeah, the Magician, and how do I make it happen? How do I bring myself into alignment here to get very, very clear about what I want so that I can manifest it? Certainly this would be someone of power, maybe both of them, right? Laying all the tools on the table, so to speak, the wand, the pentacle, the sword, the cup, to kind of get some clarity, lay it out on the table and start something new. The Magician really is the first card of the major arcana. The Fool is the 0. It has no numeration. It's in between the old cycle and the new. So there is this deeper contemplation, or this feeling of perhaps I don't know what to do because I don't know what I want. I have the tools, but I don't know if I want to use them. That's an interesting thing here. I think what might be going on here is that there's something deeper than, let's see, a talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas might be able to deal with. I mean, it's mostly major arcana here, right? Aside from you got 3 majors here, your first major here. But it feels like what's going on here, I can get, is dissatisfying. Somebody's not letting on about that. Someone's talking a lot about it. It's inflaming the situation. So at the core of this is this 2 of flames. Like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, but I can't. But I don't want to be here. But back and forth, and I don't know how to apply that element of fire here and what it is that I'm trying to create. So what's going on in the past here with this 6 of Blades? Particularly tell us if this is deliberate manipulation, mental manipulation that's gone on here. Well, with the Knight of Cups on top of that, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that what happened here, most likely the Scorpio here, really went in, brought themselves into mental balance, and tried to trot into this situation. It's one of the 4 speeds of a horse. Virgo is walk, Pisces is trot, Sagittarius is canter, Gemini is gallop. This would be the Knight of Cups, the Pisces that trots in, offering a cup of love, a cup of peace, saying, hey, right, let's party, right? Or come on, but deeper inside, maybe not rock bottom, underworld deep, but inside is this sense of dissatisfaction. This feels like someone's trying to make the best of the situation, or at least was willing to, coming in with an emotional message that way, right? A Pisces, which is leading me to think this is more couple-oriented, even though I don't know if the romance is here. But this definitely feels like a bonding. 2 people who are at least living together, or I don't know, it just feels intimate, and yet not so intimate that the truth is being revealed, particularly with this crowning card, the 4 of Blades, with the keyword deception. I'm going to say that you really need to look inside of yourself. You can ignore it longer. It's just going to get bigger, right? The truth will set you free. And if there is a deception going on here in any way, shape, or form, that is dangerous business. So please, my gods, what does that look like on the outer in the crown here? Close but no cigar. This 1 card. What does this look like on the outer? Yeah, 9 of Swords. That's why ain't nobody talking about it. 9 of Swords. This is the looping. This is the endless thinking. This is the worry. The type of thought storm, the furies up in the sky, just a poking at him, right? Those endless thoughts, looping, it's often called, right? Where you just think this circular thinking around and around and around and around and around. With that deception card on the inner, I mean, you can say meditation, you can talk about affirmations. I feel like they tried to do that with that 6 of Blades there. I don't know that it's helping too much because there's something being withheld here. And what is that being withheld? Well, to go from the 9 of Swords, add 1 more to the 10 of Swords, that completion of the cycle of air. And wouldn't it make sense if someone's like trying to figure it out, keeping them up at night, and then a piece of truth comes in? Oh, full picture, right? Still minor arcana, but that symbol, this might come to them through spiritual practice or through a reading or something maybe outside of the loop of external information. But let's see what's going on here. What does this look like on the outer, please, for my Scorpios? The Fool. I have a feeling you're out of Dodge. I have a feeling not the car. I have a feeling that this Dionysus, you're ready to take a leap of faith on a new idea. You're ready to jump in a different direction. Now, that might be away from this person, that might be toward this person, but I think certainly you are looking to start a new cycle. Yes, I said this is not the first card of the Major Arcana, the Fool, ever. It's the 0, but certainly it is that leap of faith that initiates the cycle with the Magician. So maybe you need a little space. Maybe you need to get away for a little bit to clear your mind, to be in different circumstances, to see things differently. From this, it seems constant confusion over a deception or a delusion. This is a tricky read, but I'm going to tell you, when the card of deception hits the table in a Path of True Love read, can't be true love without truth. Gotta start with you, though. Gotta be honest about how you feel, Scorpios. Yes, if you're having a bad day, that's probably not the day to, figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life. You want to do that from a better feeling place. And I feel like you were in that better feeling place with that Knight of Cups and that Six of Blades behind you. But it feels like you offered it and it was disappointing to you, or left you kind of meh, because the communication from the engineer was problematic, right? Conflict making inflamed the situation, and now you really don't know what you want. Now you really don't. It's like, I thought that was going to work, but it didn't. All right, but that Fool, I mean, that is your second Major Arcana card in the cross here, right? You don't have any other in there. So from the Magician on the inner to the Fool on the outer, it does feel like you're going to bust a move. All right, their lesson is the Strength card, that they have to have the courage. The whole situation has been orchestrated by the divine so that they find their courage, right? That they really love themselves enough to bust the move, the healthy move that they need here. What does that look like on the outer? Please just leave the card in my hand. No, that's 2. Just 1. I had on the AC, so there's like a little humidity in the room. So show me what this card looks like on the outer, the Ace of Wands. You need to move in the direction of your heart. You have to have courage. There is a new opportunity, a new passion, a new desire calling you forward. Now, I guess you could say this could be about work, because people want to bring true love to their work, but this person crossing your path, it feels like, I'm not here to assign blame, but it does feel like they may have engineered a deception here. That not all the cards are on the table. You can't make an accurate decision here unless you have truth, at least a wise truth with all the info. So it's sort of like you're going to have to rely upon your heart here. And this Ace of Wands, there's no question, it's something that you want. Right? That 2 of Flames, it's a new inspiration. The 2 is juggling it, but it feels like the Ace of Wands, you have your opportunity. Now, I will say, I've been listening to a lot of Terry Pratchett audiobooks, particularly the Tiffany Aching arc in all of that, about why do we go away from home? So that we can come back, right? So that we can see the places that once were familiar in a brand new light. This might, it's not 8 of Cups. I don't feel you necessarily walking away from this relationship, although that might be what you're trying to figure out. But certainly with that Ace of Wands, there's something calling you forward in a very inspired way. And let's call it what it is. You got the Ace of Blades here before you, right? I think that's going to be the thought that makes you take the leap. But the lesson here is ultimately about courage. Very heart chakra stuff. The Grace of Fortitude and the Grace of Healing in my book, Words of Grace. I haven't read it. You might want to check that out. It's only you have to feel good about your choices here, right? Got the Lover's card. Life-changing decision, as I said. You're going to have to love yourself enough to have the courage to do this. It is not easy, but you've got the Saboteur archetype. If this person is disempowering you, this could be a boss. Absolutely, this could be a boss. Am I going to leave this job? This person is just raining on my parade, pissing in my Cheerios every single day. Argumentative, fighting for the sake of fighting. And what comes out of their mouth from day to day, it's different. The next day they're like, they're your best friend or something, buddy, and then you're their worst enemy the day after. What does this look like from the outside looking in? God, this just play itself out so many different ways. And the outer 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands, you're over it. You're burdened. You are inflamed. I don't often go the burden route with the 10 of Wands because it can mean so much more than that. The completion of a cycle of fire. This can also mean that you got what you wanted and it's not what you wanted. That's a burden. Well, we've put so much time and energy into it, we might as well, can very much be a saboteur thing if the expiration date is passed, particularly if there are lies and deceptions going on. Yeah. And sabotorial moves. And let's face it, the coyote is the saboteur. I mean, it's Wile E. Coyote. The Saboteur archetype is fascinating, right? I highly recommend you do the research or at least look into Carolyn Mace's work in terms of the Saboteur archetype, because it's the one that uses facts and figures, reasons and numbers, right, to make these decisions that can be, yes, very mechanistic, but aren't connected to the heart or the soul, right? Wile E. Coyote is super genius. Well, never worked out for him, right? His intentions were not good, although he wanted to eat. Everybody forgets that. It's like, what else was he going to eat? Cactus? Breathe. My gods, they've got the coyote card in the trickster in their destiny here with the strength card in their lesson and the lovers, this big ass decision, but on the outside it's just like up in flames, so inflaming. What does this look like for their destiny, hopes, and fears? The moon. More sneaky. More sneaky. Look, your destiny comes here by then saying, if you are going to keep this on the DL, whatever that means to you in your situation, you better be doing your shadow work. You better be taking the time to do the emotional healing within yourself and listening to all of the voices within you, but not letting them run the show. Shadow work seems to be a premium on planet Earth, and not just for the past year and a half, although the conversation on shadow work really exploded last year with lockdown and all of that. We are certainly looking at here a thing where you need to step away. You need to step away from this situation because there might be so much shadow built up that might have very little to do with this actual person, right? Things from the past that you might have thought you balanced out with that Six of Blades mentally. There's emotional work here to be done, particularly with that moon. Now, I will say this is Hecate. You can't really see it, just the lighting here. It's a beautiful card. Hecate, Queen of Witches, Goddess of Witches, Crone of the Crossroads. And I would say that, yeah, things are cloudy. Things are confusing. But there's a lot of emotion going on here, and you might not even understand them. Sort of like when somebody does something and it triggers us, and we think it's all about them, but then time passes, you see it differently, and you go, oh no, that was built up from the 20,000 other times that happened to me in this life, and I didn't deal with it. Deal with it. Because what a lovely ending, at least an outcome for this time. Remember, these readings, who knows how long they last? They could last a day, right? From cover to outcome. These could be a month. They're timeless, literally, in every sense. What does this look like on the outside, please, my beloved gods of water? And the sign of Scorpio for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What is their most probable outcome on the path of true love? Eight of Cups. It's a walk away. It's a walk away. But you do it with victory, and you do it because you find the balance, the fun, the passion. Now, this could be a temporary. This could be saying, I need a break. Because I am so inflamed, every decision that I make is going to come from a not so great place. Matt Kahn, we're going to get to his healing mantra deck last here. He says that what the ego is, because there's so many definitions of the ego from Freud to Jung, contemporary psychology, right? Course in Miracles defines it one way. There are all these different ways. The ego is the enemy. No, it's not. The ego is the personality that arises out of an overstimulated, inflamed nervous system. What do you like when you're fried? What do you like when you're inflamed, right? You don't make your best decisions. Eckhart Tolle would call it being possessed by pain. right? Unresolved stuff, maybe stuff, you are a water sign, maybe you're picking stuff up from the collective of humanity that's affecting all of this. I think you need to take a break. And I think that's even what this Four of Swords in your crown might be talking about here, right? You need to rest. You need to go, I'd even say, like, I don't know, such a weird way to say, a spiritual journey. But, you know, maybe or even a retreat, a pulling back. And I wouldn't even say a vacation, because a vacation gets very, very busy. This can be something really where it's about going on a vision quest. Oh, there's the right word, a walkabout. All right, we got your Celtic Cross on the table. Let's see what the higher selves of all involved have to say here. The Whispers of Love Oracle. Please take a nice deep breath. You know, the collective of the higher selves, all the higher selves together, is called the Holy Spirit, according to Course in Miracles. It's like high school, HS. I kind of love that. I love when there's a truth that unifies. It's all one anyway. So I call upon the higher selves of all involved here for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, both sides, both the one with the Saboteur as well as the one with the Engineer archetype. Remember, roles can reverse there. I think by now you know who's who. Please, one card in clarity. What is the whisper of love, the piece of information, inspiration, or insight most needed by the Scorpio or for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading on the path of true love? Like attracts like. If you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. Now, if you are being deceived, that means your own deceptions are in play. My cats are being goofy. There is an opportunity here for you to really pull back and say, well, maybe I haven't been as emotionally honest. Said no Scorpio ever? Come on, you guys are fixed water. You keep it in. I know, I've dated a lot of you. Right? What are you feeling? Can't you tell? Well, I can go get my cards and find out, but that's cheating. This is definitely, I wouldn't say it's all about law of attraction. Let's not use the law of attraction to beat ourselves up. We don't really get what the law of attraction is. We only know third and fourth dimensional versions of it, although Matt Kahn talks about indirect manifestation. That's way more fifth dimensional. You want to be more love? You want more love? You need to be more loving. And I feel like if you want this relationship to continue, you need to take a little bit of a sentimental journey here, a spiritual journey of some kind, to learn how to be brave, how to follow your heart, your passion, your inspiration. Because the truth is, let's say this is a committed couple. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just two people dancing around with each other. It's fine. But certainly when you do stuff for yourself, you bring that intensity, that passion back to the relationship, right? That to seek happiness from only one direction doesn't always work. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. One of my boys got caught on something. That's not good. It's not good, my poor babies. They're boys. They're just goofy cats. I love them. So yeah, it feels like go follow your dream. Go follow your bliss. Maybe not forever. Maybe for a weekend, right? Go on a little bit of a walkabout. Take some space for yourself. Go play. Right? Go deeper. Go into play. Go have some fun. To kind of burn off some of the inflammation, which was a little contradictory as a metaphor, but you get what I'm saying here? That it's your journey. Path of True Love is about you becoming love. These readings really serve three functions. In the lower three chakras, it's about how to be loved from the world, right? Heart, third eye, crown, it's how to be loving, right? From the inside out. And the third is how to be love, the eighth chakra, right? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, right? How to be the love that you truly are. And it feels like that's available to you here in a very strong way, but it's all about power. What are you going to be, loving and wise without powerful? How about powerful and loving without wise? How about wise and powerful without loving? No, it takes all three. Threefold flame of the heart. Let's get you a mantra. Breathe. Yeah, I'm calling to the Ascended Masters emergency squad of the Path of True Love, please. One card in clarity, the best card possible, the best mantra possible for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this read. It looks like someone needs a break here. I don't know if it's a breakup or a getaway, a little solo journey, a little sojourn. There's a good word. I haven't said that in a while. What is their perfect healing mantra to help them on the path to true love with all of this? Untangling neglect. I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. Virgo got this. Virgo got this. Did anybody else get this? No. I'm going to read this from the bookie book because this is a means of giving yourself the love that only you can give you. Because if you've been trying to get approval from somebody and they're not giving it, they're not supposed to give it to you. You're supposed to give it to you, and then watch what happens when you start giving it to yourselves. It can blow up a situation entirely, and that might be why nobody wants to do it, because it will change everything, right? Highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life if you were actually empowered in this situation. Oh, rough ass read. These have been really rough this time, but I think we're up for it. We're ready for it, you know? Well, one would think. Untangling neglect. I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. I think this is the one about being a first responder to your own heart, which is rather an amazing image. When neglect is untangled, you are no longer turning to outside sources for constant reassurance and validation. That feels like that's on the table here. Instead, you are going within the depths of your own heart to notice the parts of yourself that require the presence of your attention. Eckhart Tolle says that your attention alone is unconditional love. So to give, right, this is total, where'd he go? This is totally the shadow card. No one needs to know you're doing it. No one needs to know you're doing it, Scorpio, but you might want to break away from people for the emotional expression that comes with. In nurturing yourself in this way, you step forward as the first responder to each wound, concern, and desire, particularly if you're not sure what you want, to go and sit with that. That's not in the book, I'm saying that. From this space, there becomes less of a likelihood of attracting relationships where further neglect occurs, simply because you have accepted your role as the one who nurtures the innocence within you. Look, abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss, the 4 ego wounds. I was kind of reading this 5 of Wands here as being a bit more abusive and inflammatory. But if this is about neglect, a lot harder to catch. It's passive. If you're not getting your needs met in a relationship, in a situation, really any situation, this is really saying to untangle that neglect by giving to yourself that which you can give for you. Give to yourself. Because this is about, you know, I'm going to read this last part again, if I could find it from this space. There becomes less of a likelihood of attracting relationships where further neglect occurs, simply because you have accepted your role as the one who nurtures the innocence within you. And that's what I'm getting here. It's like what you want is not some horrible thing. It might even be something very basic, right? Like respect. Well, you got to give yourself that. You have to give yourself that. Or for them to, I don't know, let you follow your dream. That no, I'm following my dreams no matter what you think. Thank you very much. This mantra is ideal for building self-confidence, courage, surviving codependency, abuse, neglect. If your dreams depend on the permission of another, oh my God, I just flashed back to the Madonna Erotica album. Yikes, that intense video, right? I had the book. I have the book, the metal-bound one upstairs. Then certainly codependence is a terrifyingly destructive addiction that people aren't necessarily aware of. And healing neediness. And I feel like this is something that only you can do for you. But with the Fool here in your 6th position with the Ace of Blades, you've got the ideas coming, the opportunities going to come. I suggest you take it. And then so that you can return clearer, and maybe then everything changes. Well, hopefully it will. But codependency ain't no joke. I mean, I've seen entire lives being ruined because someone won't speak the truth because it might upset them. That's a codependent thing. If someone's not telling the truth because I'm afraid they're going to get upset, well, then there's a deception on the table. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Particularly if someone here is neglecting the other in some way, that needs to be rectified. Rough read, but let me put it together for you with a blessing. Please take a nice deep breath. I got a nice chunky magical tool here. Honey, I got more in my house than they had all in Vampire Diaries. Magical relics. As I call upon my collective pantheons of the divine to please bless the Scorpio collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in this rather rough and tumble timeless path of true love read that really will bring them that fun, that play, that excitement that they have been looking for as they learn to give it to themselves. They present as the Saboteur. May they highlight their fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring in their life, dealing with someone who hopefully has the ability to give creative energy, a practical expression that can also be sexual energy, by the way, creative energy, same thing, second chakra, and a talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas so that this Scorpio here can kind of deal with this emotional Four of Cups, mad, disappointment. Maybe it's been disappointment for so long it's only become mad, even though they are presenting as, come on, everything's great, and lift the glass, and another, and another, and another, and another, with somebody here who is perhaps a little yes today, hot, cold, yes, no, in, out, up, down, wrong, right, left, fight, break up, kiss, make up. Katy Perry just got a chill, she doesn't know why. And perhaps a bit argumentative, a bit combative on the outside, even with this offer being given here from this Knight of Cups. We'll get there in a minute, because inside they don't know. They don't know what they want anymore. They've got it. They're at a crossroads here, but they have the tools, they have the means to do what needs to be done here, and certainly they even have the mental balance and the clarity. It's like they already know, and they really did give it their best, riding in with that Knight of Cups, an offer of love, at least an offer of peace. Maybe they apologized for something that they did not need to apologize for. It is often the case in codependent stuff to make peace, but it's a temporary peace. It's House of Cards. I don't mean the show, I mean a literal House of Cards here. So that they can really get what is the deception, the lies, illusions, deceptions, and delusions through going within themselves, really looking at what is it that I'm not seeing? Or what is it that I am deliberately keeping hidden here that is keeping me up at nights? Just that constant looping, chaotic thought haunting them, so that this new clarity of truth comes into that third eye, and they can take a leap into a more healthy direction. Maybe a leap into their own health. Maybe just getting away into something new certainly could be a vision quest, a sojourn, a spiritual escape for a little bit, right? That Ace of Wands in their lesson position, a new passion coming in that ignites that heart chakra within them, that courage. And when do we ever need the strength card and courage? Unless we are afraid. And that's the alchemy that's on the table here in a major life-changing decision. But on the outside, they're just overwhelmed and burnt out. And they're not going to make a wise, loving decision, particularly if not all the information is being out in the open. Or maybe they're the ones that have to speak that Ace of Swords that just changes the game entirely here. Regardless, their destiny comes by feeling the deeper feelings, the uncomfortable feelings, the painful feelings, doing the shadow work, looking at the unresolved stuff, not just in this relationship, but perhaps in concurrent relationships. Past concurrent, is that a thing? Previous relationships and situations that could be in other genres. If this is romantic sexual, doesn't mean this started romantic sexual. Usually codependent stuff starts in childhood. And with the moon, nobody needs to know it, but it's like they're not going to get the clarity that they need until they really do that. They are seeing through a lens darkly Thank you. How could they not? There's all this steam built up on the inside, being all cloudy and whatnot, so that they can come into that balance of fire and fun, balancing their own desires here. Playful way. Bastet, the Egyptian solar cat goddess, talk about being lit up on the inside. While they walk away, Six of Cups, certainly down into themselves, right? This is Psyche going into the underworld here to retrieve some beauty cream, but also walking away to find that ninth cup within themselves, their own wish fulfillment, because they're probably not feeling the love. So for like to attract like, if they are longing for more love in their life, they need to be more loving, and the way that they need to do that is by untangling neglect, taking the time to give themselves all the approval they desire, so they are recharged, so they are no longer dependent upon the permissions of another, to have courage and follow their path and follow their truth and speak their truth, even if the other person explodes. That's part of their healing journey. Here is the truth. Here is what's going on. You don't have to like it, but that takes courage, and that takes being honorable, and that takes being honest. So may they be blessed, that true love may conquer all in this situation, for them, for all involved, and certainly for all humanity who's going through this in some way, shape, or form in life, for their well-being, for our well-being, and for the well-being of all. So mote it be, and so it is. And so it is. There you go. Yeah, there it is. Someone needs to cough something up. I was waiting for that cough to happen. I knew it was gonna. Very throat chakra read here. But remember, truth without compassion is brutality. His Holiness the Dalai Lama said that, and I do my best to live that way. Although I'll say I have compassion. I've been in codependent contracts. Never again will I ever be in a codependent thing that way, particularly romantically. Go pound sand. Only I have to feel good about my choices, which is the healing mantra for unraveling codependence. So look, you want to go deeper on this? This is more of a spiritual counseling thing that I would do with somebody than a reading. But of course, when I do spiritual counseling, I have my cards right there and usually around me. So yeah, I could see why you wouldn't want to like this, but if you did like it, if it made sense, like it, help other people find it. You want more, subscribe to the channel, read my book, book me for a reading, check the links in the description box, my beloved Scorpios. Otherwise, wishing you all the very best, and the very blessed, honestly, does end well. It ends well for you, at least. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed on the path of true love. My darlings, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.